And 14-year-old Alex is
Yeah.
not even close to 52-year-old Alex, but there's an authenticity about
Correct.
14-year-old Alex that those connections just are so deep.
Right.
On today's episode, Alex and Julie dive into this month's book club selection, Our Perfect Storm by Carley Fortune. It teaches us life lessons about mother-daughter relationships, best friend relationships, and romantic relationships, with all of them deserving second chances. Welcome to the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
I'm Alex.
We share ourselves and we provide a platform for others to share.
We believe everyone has a purpose and a story to tell.
And we're back on the We Share podcast. I'm Julie.
And I'm Alex.
Hi, Alex.
Good morning.
Second installment of our
Yes.
summer book club.
Summer book club in full swing and in full storm, I guess. I mean, we even did have a little bit of a storm last night.
As we're recording this.
Yes, we are going to be talking about Our Perfect Storm by Carley Fortune. She has a lot of different books out there. We stumbled upon this one, and it is a romantic love story. Let's start with a light question. Have you ever been friends with someone where everyone else thought you should date? So this is obviously going to go back to high school for you because you've been married for quite some time.
Over 30 years. Absolutely. I actually had this happen. I was engaged, but I was the sports editor of my college newspaper.
Okay.
And one of my staff pulled me aside and said, I really feel like you should be dating him, and pointed at a guy who was in the newspaper department with us.
Okay.
And we were really good friends, like really good friends. And I'm like, yeah, but that's not it. Like, we're just friends. But that person thought we would make such a great couple. That person also didn't know my fiance, my current husband. So I could see why they said it.
Right.
I think this happens more than we think.
I think it happens a lot. People do like to play matchmaker. They feel like they have a hand in something. It does. Having been single multiple times in my adult life, I feel like people have tried to set me up, you know, when I'm not in a relationship. Or
Are they very good at it?
I think they are, but I don't know. I personally, for me, I like things to happen authentically. So if someone's interested in me, it's going to be better if they come at me directly than through a friend.
Through networking.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd rather, or happenstance, if they want to behind the scenes plan something where we happen to meet and see if there's a connection there.
Yeah.
But I don't like the pressure of someone thinking there's like a preconceived notion or whatnot. And then I overanalyze everything anyway. So I'd be like, well, what did they say about me?
Like, why are we doing this?
Yeah. So
I think that's what this book has, though. So Our Perfect Storm by Carley Fortune. I think there's a far more organic template here in this book, because our female lead in this book, why can't I think of her name right now?
Frankie.
Frankie, yeah.
Short for Francesca. She's
short for
named
Francesca.
after a well.
So Frankie grows up next to a young man, George, and they come up together. They have very different backgrounds, but they live near each other, and their families kind of fall in love with each person individually. So like Frankie's family falls in love with George, and George's a caregiver that is not his mother, Mimi, falls in love with Frankie.
Yep.
And so they've got these groups of people that love them both and can see the goodness of them together. But Frankie and George don't see that about each other.
Like, we're just best buds.
We're friends.
Yeah.
They even perform a fake wedding when they're little.
Yes. And they have tattoos of each other's names on the rib cage, which for me, if I had a guy's tattoo on my rib cage, I think any guy I was with would be like,
why is that
okay,
there?
can tell me the story behind that. But think about your childhood. Like, we've brought this up before with neighborhoods and communities. Back then, we were all friends. I can think of several of my girlfriends, and I grew up like in my ward or neighborhood in Provo. The majority of kids my age were guys. And so
and you
I
were
had
familiar with their homes?
We were just
in and out of each other's houses.
thick as thieves. I was, I mean, and I still can think back to that. And I have had friends later in life go through divorce. Maybe they lived in different states that have gone back to Utah and reconnected with high school friends and ended up getting married to to someone they knew from high school. And I think there's a familiarity, a security in that when you've known someone for that many years and through that many seasons of life. Well, I think it can happen.
And 14-year-old Alex is not even close to 52-year-old Alex, but there's an authenticity about 14-year-old Alex that those connections just are so deep.
Right. We are so different. But
yeah,
the fact that you brought that up is so cute. Like it popped into my head. Sidebar, but it is relatable. My daughter just had her wisdom teeth out on Monday, and her boyfriend has been so cute and come over to visit her a few times. And we just got talking about, he brought her flowers, and I'm like, oh, I didn't really swell when I got my wisdom teeth out. My high school boyfriend was so sweet. He drew poems for me and drew a picture of my face all chubby and brought me a care basket. And Allie's like, what? And I said, yeah, I still have a whole file of love letters from this man. Now he's a man, but he was my high school boyfriend. And they both looked at me, really? And I'm like, you want to see? So I went to my file. I got out my high school collection and her boifriend was blown away. He's like, I need to step up my game. I need to learn to draw and write poems. And Allie thought it was so adorable. He penned my name, Alexandra, every time at the top. And it has been an issue that I have these letters multiple times with people.
Really?
Wade, my ex husband, was like, why do you have this? And I said, I just think it's adorable. It was a time in my life. Yeah. And like, he was borderline obsessed with me, but so sweet. Yeah. And he's also like, just talented. I don't want to throw it away.
Yeah, I think that.
But
that
now
made
maybe
you
I'll
who
turn
you
it
are.
into a book. Yeah. I don't know. I could go on cover.
Could.
I could do it. I could do something with it.
I feel differently in that because I think this is a portion of who you are.
Well, I'm a hopeless romantic.
Yeah.
And maybe it started at the age of 15, 16.
Yeah, maybe.
Where I'm like, wow, this is actually, I had not read those in years, but we went through a few of them and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is how you should treat a girlfriend.
So
it was
sweet. Yeah.
So innocent and sweet.
Yeah.
And
innocent and sweet really explains George and Frankie.
Yes.
They weren't, sometimes I think high school kids get accused of being all hormone infused, and that's all that's important to them.
Well, there's definitely some of that.
Yeah. But the young George and Frankie were not that. Mm-mm. They were figuring out what made each other tick and their sadnesses, and they would talk about topics and not each other. Like they were actually having a very depth-filled like it was a deep relationship.
They really were best friends and lived together for a whole year.
Yeah, without a romantic connection.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that is probably the thread from the time they were little that made it so obvious to everyone in the room that those are the two that should be together.
Yeah, we're just waiting for you to figure it out, but we're all here to cheer you on. Yeah. And for George to essentially know Frankie shouldn't get married to this guy because that guy doesn't know Frankie, the Frankie he knows. The version of Frankie he knew, he could see she wasn't that person. And haven't you seen people like that? Maybe even me.
Sure. I think we do change ourselves a little bit when, especially new into a relationship.
Yeah. So you're like, hey, wait a minute. Let's have a sidebar here. You are not being your true self. This isn't going to last. Or what are you
sacrificing of your true self to be with this person?
Right.
Even if they look good on paper, which I believe Nate looked good on paper to Frankie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But she changed who she was to be with him.
So I don't think this is a spoiler alert because this is the basis of the book. Yeah. Nate and Frankie are going to get married and the marriage doesn't happen. Yep. During that part of the book, did you think Nate was a bad guy?
No.
You never looked at him as a villain?
No, I think he just knew what he wanted, went after it, and Frankie showed up as this version of herself. And
And he could tell it wasn't the version that he wanted or should have been falling in love with.
Well, I think he thought he knew her until he didn't, until he found out, things were disclosed to him that he's like, oh, I don't even know this girl.
Right.
And I think it happens more often than not, but people go through with the marriage because of the societal pressures or this is what we do next. Mm-hmm. Not often do we give pause because marriage is one of the biggest decisions you're going to make. Who you marry, and
especially if you're going to have kids with them.
Yeah. And if you're 21 and going in blindly, it is harder than I think I was led to believe. But not on purpose.
Yeah, we're just young and dumb.
Yeah. We were like, oh, this is what you do. I do see a shift in that. I mean, obviously my kids have taken a little bit longer to get married. There's still lots of people getting married young, and it does and can work out as long as you have, I think, a few hard conversations ahead of time and you're in alignment. But that doesn't mean that real life stuff isn't going to hit you, like cancer, money problems.
Childbirth changes things. Yeah.
Yep.
I don't think I looked at Nate as a villain either. In fact, it might be the opposite. I don't think I'd call him a hero.
Yeah, hero was coming to my mind, but he was definitely
brave.
Well, and generous. Like,
because he let her go on and have her life.
Yeah, I paid for all of this. I feel like there's a connection here. I'm going to bow out. I wish you the best.
Go do your thing.
He left in a very avoidant style, but then gave her the honeymoon. So she still went on the honeymoon. And she took George. And I think when Nate found out that George went, I think that had to sting because he was paying for that trip.
Yeah. And despite the fact that you realize we're not supposed to be together, you're still going to have that love feeling. You're going to marry her. You asked her to marry you. There's going to be a level of love there, even if you realized just prior to the wedding that this wasn't supposed to be.
Right. There's a hole. There's going to be a hole there. A void.
Yeah.
So thankful it wasn't me, but it was relatable, and I've seen similar things.
So yeah, I didn't view him as a villain either. Let me ask you this question. Could George and Frankie have worked at a different time, or was it so important that they learn their life lessons before they get to this point in order for their relationship to work?
I think they could have worked at a different time, but now I think it's going to work better
because
they are
bumps.
More mature, for sure. I feel like part of what makes them good together is they both understood the childhood trauma or pain each other had from George basically being estranged from his dad and losing his mom. I think his mom died at a young age, or when he was young. And then with Frankie's mom leaving to go
pursue her dream
of the whale, watching her like
scientist.
Yes, like something like that. I can't think of the exact term for what she did, but she studied whales. And how Frankie took that as rejection from her mother at a young age. My mom doesn't love me. She left me. And she held on to that for so long. And it wasn't until she's an adult and she's pursuing things she loves and she gets some framework from George and others to like, you should probably talk to your mom about this. And then they could find common ground and she could appreciate, wait, Mom, you did sacrifice a lot. You only were gone for a year. But how often our kids put so much pressure on us to do it all, and it's hard. Like, it's hard to work and pursue your goals and run a household. Get it all done.
I have a favorite spiritual talk by a religious leader, and in that talk, this person explains that his dad left their home when he was young, like 5, 6, 7 years old. It was him and his 2 brothers and his mom. And his mom worked a couple of jobs to make ends meet. His mom never remarried. And the brothers kind of helped raise each other and they worked their way through. And he had so much bitterness and animosity towards his dad because his dad had left. Then he explained that one day he was home he had come home from work. He had 3 sons, and his sons were on the family room floor. They were playing with something. He was sitting in the recliner chair, and he's interacting with them. And he said, at that moment, I had a realization of how much joy I have in my life because of these 3 boys. And he said, then it flipped, and he became so empathetic towards his dad because he realized my dad made a choice, probably thinking it was best for him, and look at everything he missed out on that I have. And then he went on to explain that I wouldn't have been able to understand that feeling until I had 3 sons of my own.
Right.
I had to, and he likens it that our heart is, when we're young, is like a 1-room condo.
Right.
But as life happens, we build rooms onto this heart, and all of a sudden it becomes a mansion because we have a room on the west wing that...
Yeah, you're like, this chamber over here.
Yeah, that dealt with
chambers.
this. And yeah. And he said, and I needed those life experiences to be able to forgive my dad and to get rid of that bitterness that I had toward him. I think that's the same with Frankie here. She needed those life experiences to understand why her mom left and why her mom chose. And she was kind of confused at why everyone could see these good sides to her mom and she couldn't. But once she had life experiences, she was like, oh, yeah, my mom really does have a lot of good in her.
Yeah. And I don't think kids know until they are adults the sacrifices you make until they are trying to figure it out on their own. And the beautiful thing is you need to let them. It's so hard as a parent to not want to just fix and solve.
It's better if they come to it on their own.
But not on purpose, but just because I have been spread so thin. They've had to figure things out, and I've had to allow them because I just don't even have the bandwidth to do it all. I think you tend to help, and I'm not a psychologist, let me go, just on record from my personal experience. I think my oldest and my youngest have got my most attention, and my middle children are amazing too, and I love them all. I love them all the same. I would never say I have a favorite. I'm not that person. But they have all required different things from me at different times. But I know my oldest and youngest got my most attention.
That's a little heartbreaking as a mom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, no, but, and if my 2 middles feel any pain and are carrying that, I'm like, oh, please just put that down because you shouldn't.
Yeah, don't carry that with you.
And if you need anything.
There wasn't an intention behind the reason that you were spread thin either.
Yes.
It had nothing to do with liking them or not liking them or enjoying them or not enjoying them. It was just circumstance of life.
Right. And there's just so many dynamics that go into relationships and family. Mm-hmm. I mean, beautiful and good. We all have stuff. So,
yeah. What about the gamble that Frankie and George end up making? Should they have gambled their lifelong friendship for a romantic relationship?
I think, yeah. I'd like the ending better with the gamble.
Yeah.
Just because I want the hopeless romantic ending, and so that I don't go oh, I'm that reader.
Yeah.
I want a good ending. And also, how often have we heard the one that got away? Do you think of, is there Brad isn't going to listen to this, or is he? No.
Well, I have divorced friends who've said that.
Yeah.
They have exited not great relationships with their spouses, and they've reflected on life. And I have 2 of them specifically that have said, I really should have pursued this, but I didn't. And that makes you feel bad that they have regrets about that.
Yeah. I wonder. I don't feel like one got away from me, but I feel like I've broken a few hearts. No, just kidding.
I bet you have.
I don't know. It'd be interesting
to see how they reflect on it. Yeah.
And if you're out there, no. Mm-hmm. Get a hold of me. No. Send an email. We'll add it to the notes of the show. But no, I think there is a lot of people that have one that got away.
Do you think most people could take a trip with a best friend and not have it turn romantic?
Not this romantic. This trip, I want to go.
Oh, it's added to my
Tofino.
bucket. Tofino is added to my bucket list at this point.
I'm like, I want to go stay, and I hope the same guy is working the front desk, Peter or whatever.
Quite honestly, Tofino is actually a character in this book. You have Frankie, you have Nate, you have George, you have Mimi. You've got all these different characters. The place that they visit for their honeymoon, which is Tofino, their quote unquote honeymoon trip, becomes part of the book. They do. Carley Fortune does such a great job of explaining this place and turning it into just this idea of a place that you want to be.
Curated town. And then even when they were having like relationship, like conversation, I guess.
Interactions.
Interactions and toughness, like where it was awkward and they're both not knowing what to do, then George is like, he has planned excursions for every day. And then one day they're going to go on a hike. And I'm like, that's exactly what I want to take it out on the trail. Like, let's figure it out on the trail. Because how often can you just go be in nature and everything else quiets down and you can find out what really is going on in someone's head or their heart and solve your own problems, like literally. I'm like, this book is... Well, it's a
concept of putting yourself in a good atmosphere in order to handle hard things. Mm-hmm. I'm being 100% authentic on that. I read this book. I looked at my husband and said, this is on the bucket list now. We're going to this area of Canada. Like, I got to go see it.
I want to see it too. And the cute restaurants, like everything I could picture. She really did a great job describing everything.
Absolutely.
Tofino.
What haven't we covered that you would think would be interesting to?
Well, you're going to have to read it.
Mm-hmm. It's really good.
And then apparently there's other books that go with this one, right?
Yes, yeah. Carley Fortune is a very prolific author. And so there's plenty more. Also, if people want to know about Carley Fortune, most of her literature is built around not a teen girl or a 22-year-old girl finding love. It's usually someone a little bit older in life, and they've had some bumps. They're not perfect. She never invents a character that is like Barbie doll thin, and her characters have flaws.
Right.
And I think that's very engaging to the reader to have their main character be relatable.
Right.
And Carley Fortune does that with her characters. So if you like romantic literature, but you want it to have a little bit of more real life to it and not this fake premise that everybody is drop dead gorgeous and the richest and they don't have flaws and they don't have mistakes in their relationships. And Carley Fortune brings that to you. It's real people trying to find love.
With real conflict and how they handle it.
Mm-hmm.
I really did like The Perfect Storm.
Yeah, I thought it was really good too. Okay, what's our next book?
It's by Frida McFadden. I want to say Dear Debbie.
Yes. That's what it is. Dear Debbie. I haven't read that one yet.
I have not either. I haven't started. I had to get the thoughts out on this one first.
I have read or listened to a second Carley Fortune book off of us doing this one.
Okay.
Meet Me at the Lake. I would highly recommend that one as well. She's got many, so you might fall in love with an author.
So was Meet Me at the Lake, is that another destination book? Like, is she going to take you to a...
No, she returns home to help with a family project. It's a resort that her mother has been running. And because of that...
Different characters,
different characters. Okay. Different characters. And things start to collide into her life because she's back home.
Okay.
And, parts that she hadn't settled and relationships that had ended.
Doesn't that happen? That's a real life thing, too.
It's very real life.
Like, often you have people, because I'm not from Idaho Falls, but someone I knew maybe when I first moved here, they've left and then come back. So that's a real thing.
Very real.
People go back home or...
And she struggles in this one. I know this isn't the book, but at Meet Me at the Lake, she struggles with the perception that people have of her 19-year-old or her 18-year-old self. And now as a woman in her 30s returning, they remember her that way and she's much different. So that helps her come into perspective of how have I changed, and in what way was it good? In what way did I lose some of my charm because I left and went to the big city? And it's a good reflection on.
Oh, that happens.
Yeah,
That's
it happens all the time. Mm-hmm.
All the time. I mean, in all sorts of different rooms.
Yeah.
I can, not on purpose, but become that chameleon. Like, well, in this room, in this situation, this is this version of myself that I'm going to show up like.
Yeah.
And on the tennis court, I show up like this.
Yes.
On the golf course,
Yes. Yeah. So another great book. So I'm a big fan of Carley Fortune. I'm sure I will read more of hers. And what would you give it a rating out of 10?
I like 10. I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
There was not one part I didn't like.
Yeah. I'd probably give it about a 9 out of 10. Like I felt like it was a really good, and it's an easy read.
It was easy to read. And, my dog's name is George. I just loved George from the very beginning. So I wanted them together from the very beginning. So I got my happy ending with a bunch of exciting stuff.
We have a couple more minutes. Yeah. You lost George the other day.
Oh, I did.
Tell the listeners that story.
Oh my goodness. My little boy, George. So it's been hot this summer.
He's a gray French bulldog.
Well, yeah, no, he's like a kind of a chocolate brown black, but then he's got this white heart on his chest.
Uh-huh.
And him and Truman, I got home, like unloading groceries, doing stuff. One of the doors was open, but my dogs are always just like right by my side. So somehow he got out, and he happened to have had a bath the day before. He didn't have his collar on, but I didn't even know he was gone for because Truman, George,
they'll go fall asleep on their beds or whatever.
Frenchies are just like kind of lazy, and then they get really wild, and then they're lazy. And so I'm like, he's just probably in the corner or over by the vent. And Truman's like running around the house with me, just doodles are by your side. You pee with them, you do everything with them, you trip over them. Mm-hmm. And so finally I'm like going to fill their bowls, and I'm like, where's George? And nowhere. And I freak out, and it's dark at this point. It's getting dark. And so I hit the streets. I'm in my pajamas. What did I do? I did play tennis or something. Yeah. Something was like I fed them, got home, got like in and out. But apparently he'd been out for a while, and I didn't know. Truman was in the backyard. And yeah, we hit the streets looking for George.
Somebody sweet picked
him up before it got dark, knowing that my dog was not like
astray.
That looked like a nice dog, and he should not be on this side of Broadway. So essentially, if you're familiar with any city street, like Broadway is a very main big street, 4 lanes of traffic. Well, I guess 5 with the turn lane, and then crossing Skyline. So, he just cruised by Walgreens, went by the gas station, the grocery store, and went down all the way to Pancarry Bridge is where they found him.
He went that far?
Yeah. And if they had not grabbed him before it got dark, he would have been hit by a car for sure.
Because he's too dark.
I would not have my dog. So they posted on Facebook, but I don't go straight to Facebook when I'm missing my dog. I hit the streets. So I was like panicked, calling my kids, like walking in my pajamas all over town. And then I just basically hands in the air went inside close to 10 o'clock. And I got a text from Andrea. She's like, did you see Facebook? I tagged you. And I'm like, what? She goes, is that your dog? And because I had decided to share a picture. And then, yeah, these people had him. They kept him busy for a couple hours and gave him water. And I got my dog back.
Wow.
So, oh my gosh, I was so happy. And
another happy ending. Yeah. We had a happy ending in the book.
Yes,
you have a happy ending with George back.
Because they're my
thank you to those people.
Yes. And apparently they have 4 dogs themselves. Mm-hmm. So it's no wonder that he gravitated towards their house, because I think dogs know. Mm-hmm. They might have had a dog in heat or whatever. Mm-hmm. They also shared stuff with me that I don't know this, because I don't think this way, but they're like, some people will grab your dog and just take him to the pound or whatever because they're mad you let your dog out.
Yeah.
My dog is the sweetest. He's not ferocious at all. And so I'm glad these people found him, and he is chipped, and he would have got back to me had he got taken to the pound. I think I would have paid a fine or like a veterinarian because.
But they were trying to be sweet about it.
He did say, he's like, we noticed he has his balls, and that's worth something. And often they will. I did not know this. I don't know if this is real, but they said they will take them and then give you the bill. So they'll castrate him. What is the word? Is that
spay, neuter.
Spay, neuter. They'll do that for your dog.
Okay.
Because you let him go.
Okay.
Animal population control. I had never heard of that, but
I'm glad somebody didn't pick him up and keep him, because my daughter Peyton had her micro mini doodle in a Walgreens. She was holding Daisy, and this was in California, and she was walking around, and she was pretty positive somebody was following her through Walgreens. And she went back and found her husband, who was waiting in line for a prescription. And she's like, I don't like what's going on. I feel like these people are following me. I'm going out to the car and I'm locking myself in the car. And he said, okay. He said, if you're going to go, you got to go. Like, get out of here before they can follow you. Well, she shared that story on her podcast. She had multiple people message her in and saying they were waiting for you. They were going to watch you leave and they were going to take your dog.
Yeah. Just be distracted for just enough time. Because they are expensive. And if you can see that it's breedable. Yeah. Which is like. So.
Yeah, her dog is still breedable.
Yeah.
She has not chosen to. I mean, obviously, it's an indoor dog and it's not around other.
And a nice dog. If
so
George,
nice.
Someone took George, he'd be like, okay, I guess. Different than our book that we just went. He would have adapted very well as long as he's fed and has a bed. Like, he's happy. But, I'm just thankful. Like, you don't realize how much
you love
pets
them.
are your
you
people.
Love them.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right. Okay.
So we'll see you next month for our final
Dear
installment, Dear Debbie.
All right.
Bye. Thanks for joining us today on the We Share podcast.
If you've loved what you've heard, please give us a 5-star rating. Tell your friends and share this show.
You can also follow us for recipes, lifestyle and fashion tips, book reviews, and more on WeSharePodcast.com.
Join our Share Squad and sign up for our newsletter there.
We would love to connect with you.
We share on TikTok, Pinterest, Facebook, and Instagram. Give us a follow.
A big goodbye squeeze and sending you all our love from Alex and Julie.
Join us next week on the We Share podcast.